Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am really sorry I forgot to answer some of the questions yesterday. Actually, I didn't forget, I didn't have the time and I didn't see the questions. So I'm really quickly going to answer some of the questions. So the first question is, I'm in Izmir and people here don't really fast. I'm all alone, no sport. People advice, and I have been struggling for some time. Okay, I have been to Izmir, and it's very, very difficult actually. The situation in Turkey, when you go outside Istanbul, you're like getting further and further and further away from the community of Muslims, and I think this is a result of what happened in Turkey in the past. So I would say, please. Instead of focusing on people, focus on what you're bringing to the community and what you're bringing to your neighborhood. They say the house where someone is praying, the angels they surround the house. If you're fasting and no one in your neighborhood is fasting, then imagine all the blessings you are bringing into your neighborhood. And also, nowadays there is so much available online, and I'm sure you can connect with the Quran programs, the live Taraweehs, and everything online. So inshallah, perhaps the next Ramadan you will have someone who will also join you in Izmir. And I was very, very surprised when I was in Izmir, and I saw the further we go into Turkey, not in Konya, but outside of Istanbul, the distance from the Islam in practice is not. It's kind of there, but it's not like really, really there. So yes. How to stop binging at Fatur. Okay, that's I thought I did cover this, but I'll go through this again. Okay, so how to stop binging. Okay, the anxiety normally starts to set in before Fatur time, which is around Asr time. Okay, so the best advice I can give you is after the Asr, have a siesta before Asr if you can, but after Asr listen to Surah Duha, and when you do go for your Fatur, please make sure you start your Fatur with 3 dates, with the dua, Surah Al-Quraysh. This is very, very effective, in healing, and especially for the eating disorders. And then, have a glass of water, and, have a tablespoon of black seed oil. And then there is also, I'm not sure what your custom is, but if you could have a glass of milk with honey, that really, really helps. And then take a break, okay? Please take a break, go and do your Maghrib Salah and come back, and then, have your Fatur. And with your Fatur, always, remember, keep on, reading your Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Sit on the floor if you can, chew your food mindfully, and be aware of the time that, after like 25 minutes, you have to go and you have to go to the mosque. So, these are really little steps, but, they really, really help. And if you didn't take black tablespoon of a black seed oil before Maghrib, then, take it, after you have finished your meal. So inshallah, that will really, really help you. And when you are making your plate, please, do understand that you can't really eat everything, but what you can eat is which is good and good for you. So the balance is really, really important, and I think everybody knows what the balanced plate looks like. It's on our website, and honestly, how to have a mindful and good fatur, it's there on our website. But this tip about the black seed oil, listening to Surah Duha at Asr and Surah Al-Quraysh when you're eating is very, very important. Honestly, you will not binge, inshallah. Okay, my daughter is 15 and alhamdulillah in recovery. This is second Ramadan. She can fast some days, but I can't afford her food anymore. It costs 30% of my salary. I have 3 more children. She's inspired by, her food is not available here. Okay, it's actually it's a foreign brand, and it's when we buy it, it's very, very expensive. Okay, the first thing is she has to eat what is available, what is local. Okay, the salmon is not our fish. This is not a fish of our country. This comes from the West. So who she's following? I did look up this person. Your daughter is 15. This person who's in recovery is 27. So why is your daughter watching her content? Why is your daughter inspired by someone who's 27? And it's completely irrelevant. There is no compatibility grounds here. This woman, basically, she's independent. She's working. and what she's buying and where she's buying her food from. I mean, and also, I mean, let me tell you, she also really, really struggles. And yes, so, please offer her that if she wants to go for the salmon, then there is a local fish available. Offer, please explain to her that, I mean, a salmon in our country costs 5 times more than what it costs in, the United States of America. Also, the avocado is very expensive here, so there are alternatives. You can switch. Offer her the same kind of foods, but what is available local. So it's not really, really practical. Yeah. So please have a conversation with her, explain to her, and explain her. This is the alternative if she really wants to have salmon, and also, I mean, explain to her about this woman. I mean, she is not a master super recovery guru. She also has been struggling, and she doesn't really have a consistent recovery path. My anxiety right now is worst. I'm fearing entering Ramadan. I have BED, which is a binge eating disorder. I also want to fast. Okay, I mean, again, the anxiety, as you know that in Islam, Imam Ghazali does explain that it basically, we believe it's something which is like from fear, and from the fear of the unknown, and then it is taking on unnecessary stress, and we're worrying about the future unnecessarily. So basically, because you are thinking about Ramadan, and you want to eat, and it's a month which restricts you. It's a month which really, really, really restricts you on multiple levels. So that's why your anxiety is coming from. Again, I mean, if you want to fast, I mean, alhamdulillah, may Allah inshallah make it easy for you. I mean, if you are having your fatur, one of the best remedy, one of the best things to calm your anxiety again is honey and milk. I mean, Surah Quraysh is very, very, very effective. Surah Duha, and also, I mean, please do remember that Ramadan is not about eating excessively, because it really does make you sick. And dedicate yourself to other causes as well. Inshallah, it will bring a lot of blessings into your life. And again, I mean, they do say that the fear and anxiety, stress, and negativity, it does harm your brain. It does lead you towards the anxiety. So the binge eating disorder, I mean, also, if you could please get some help here, do try to get some help. Yeah. And I struggle keeping the food down, whether I'm fasting or no. My binging and purging gets worse at fatur. The table triggers me. Okay, about that, I mean, what you said, whether you are fasting or no, you're not fasting, you are suffering from active, BP disorder, which is binge purging disorder. Okay, so I'm really, really sorry. So let's take Ramadan, away from all of this. I'm really, really sorry. Okay, guys. So, I mean, so basically what you have to do is, if you are fasting, I'm really sorry, but, you really, really, really have to minimize the behaviors. And the reason for that is, because, these behaviors are, they're not acceptable in Islam, because they do harm your health. So you really have to focus on, A, minimizing your behaviors, and B, the table. I mean, what is triggering you at the table? I mean, it's the normal food, which we eat all year round. It just the difference. The difference in Ramadan is, it's there. It's in our face, and our mind is telling us that this food is there for wrong reasons, but it's there for good reasons. And the second thing is, the food which really, really is triggering is normally the food which you think is a forbidden food. I hope this stays, okay? So it's basically a fried food or something like that. Okay, now if in your mind you have already made a decision that this food is a bad food, then you are going to struggle, okay? You can have that food in moderation, okay? And about the purging, okay? I mean, I'm really sorry. I mean, I wish I could say to you that, I know it's okay, it will go away. I mean, I'm really sorry, but at least make your aim that you're going to try not to purge, because it takes one purging to kill you. The second thing is, I mean, as I explained the steps before, please, have a very, very, if you are if you're fasting or you're not fasting, you're going to do those behaviors anyway, but be very, very mindful at the fatur time that, do your prayers, come back. When you are having like dates and you're having like milk, honey, automatically, these are the foods which are designed to calm you down. They don't trigger. When you go and you offer your salah, you make your dua, you come back. Yeah, the ideal fatur plate idea is on our website. Have that. And then, after that, you go and meditate. If you can, please, sit in meditation for half an hour, or listen to Surah Al-Rahman, because this is very, very effective in calming you down, so you don't purge. And then the second thing is, the purging and binging again happens. Go for your tarawih, because there is no Ramadan without tarawih. Go and have your tarawih, come back here and go to bed. Get up for your qiyamul layl, have some milk, do your tahajjud, and then proceed towards the Fajr Salah. But in your mind, please, keep telling yourself that these are the behaviors I'm not going to do. One thing is, I have to show you is, this is very, very good, which is wheatgrass synergy. So basically, the reason you're purging is because your body is very, very deficient. So if you could have this, like make a drink and have wheatgrass synergy, this is not a meal replacement, but it really, really, really helps you, honestly, and the black seed oil really helps you. So I wish I could say to you that purging is okay, but there is no justification for these behaviors in Islam, because they are wrong behaviors, and all these ED behaviors are basically designed to kill you. They kill your health. They're completely harmful. So try to minimize them. Make this Ramadan about getting rid of what you love most, and which is these behaviors. And don't make this Ramadan about that it's triggering, it's XYZ. Make it about that you will be trying to minimize these behaviors. At the end of the day, this is the purpose of Ramadan. Okay, how to handle challenges of fatur parties at eating out and okay, again, I'll give you an example. I'm repeating myself. It doesn't matter whether you're at home, whether you're at a fatur party, okay? You only have one stomach, okay? There's a limit how much you can eat. There is no way you can have 300 dishes, which they put at the fatur, which they have in... you're talking about Atlantis, okay? So which they have at Atlantis, maybe let's say 500, because they go crazy there. Anyway, so let's say they have 500. You can't have 500 dishes, let's be really, really realistic. So your well-being, your health, and what you're eating for yourself and your body is so, so important. Again, are they really forcing you? In Atlantis, as soon as the fatur adhan happens, that you have to consume 500 dishes. No, you are your own person. Ignore what everyone is doing. Have your dates, have your milk, have your honey, have your black seed oil. Yes, if milk and honey will be available there. If it's not, then have your water, have your what is it, Orion or Leban, that yogurt drink, have that. That's very, very good. Go and pray. Are they really going to stop you and chain you to the buffet table and make you that, tell you that you have to eat all these dishes? No. Walk out, honestly, because the prayer is compulsory. Do your maghrib, take your time, sit in meditation, come back, and then make your plate. And you all know what you have to do. You know the limits. You can't have all the dishes, and this actually really clears your mind. And then inshallah, and again, there are tips on the website about how to make your plate at the fatur table. I'm 20 and I struggle with binge eating disorder. I feel world accepts if men eat plate after plate, but whereas if female does the same, there will be talk and raised eyebrows. Shouldn't the rule be the same for everyone? You know what? This is so good. I absolutely agree. Like if it's the men and women, they're sitting on the same table. Honestly, like nobody even looks at the man. Like it's like accepted. It's like traditional thing everywhere. Whether you're in East or West, that the man can eat unlimited amount of food. Nobody will say a word. Because he's a man. He can eat the whole table. It's absolutely okay. It's actually celebrated the more he eats. But whereas, if the woman goes for like 1, 2, 3, 4 plates, oh my God, they will talk about it. And so, the rules are the same. And alhamdulillah, the rules come from the Islam. Islam tells us what to eat and how to eat and when to eat. So, you're absolutely right. So thank you for that question. It's very, very good. The perfect way of eating, the Islamic way of eating, there is no other way of eating. And I'm being very honest, me and my people, we have tried everything under the sun. Honestly, we tried the things which we shouldn't have tried because we really were experimenting and supporting each other. We were thinking we were doing something really, really good. And guess what? At the end, it all came back to the Islam, which is the perfect way. We were aware of Islamic guidelines, but because they're a bit, we feel they're a bit rigid, but they're not rigid. They're very, very flexible. But the shaitan is always there telling you. And honestly, the things we tried, which we thought, oh my God, don't even go there. I need to erase some of the content from my website, by the way. Qiyamul Layl, I find after Taraweeh, I just eat non-stop for 3 hours. And then by 3 a.m., I fall asleep. And then I struggle with sahur. And rest of the day is bad. And I am 17-year-old. Okay, this is a man. Qiyamul Layl. Okay, so you're having Qiyamul Layl. Okay, so the Qiyamul Layl is, understand, it's like not staying up and having friends, wasting your time and eating and eating and eating. I mean, I don't understand why you're not in bed after your Taraweeh Salah. Why don't you go to sleep? Just go to sleep and then wake up after 2 hours and then do your tahajjud and like have a glass of milk, have honestly with honey. And then, go and do your fajr, have your sahur and fajr, and you will not struggle. So, this is the only solution. So, I mean, yeah, it will put a stop to your eating and eating and eating. And Qiyamul Layl does not mean sitting with your friends and eating and eating and eating and having unnecessary talk. It means, praying and more perfect. If you still can't go to sleep, read your, do a Salatul Tasbih. Honestly, it will really bless you. With current climate in Pakistan, I'm heartbroken. My faith in humanity is lost. I'm simply looking at Ramadan with no motivation. I want to find inspiration, please. I will, inshallah, do a post on Pakistan. Honestly, I completely understand. It's like, with Gaza, it's a living nightmare. And then, we have these people who are going out of their way to make everything very, very difficult for us. It doesn't matter whether, we could be in Misr, we could be in Urdun, we could be in Lebanon, we could be in Afghanistan, we could be in Bangladesh. It's all a joke, okay? So you want to find the motivation, okay, please find the inspiration from the fact here that how Hazur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to fast. These people are not your leaders, and what they are doing, it's their doing. You did the right thing, you're concerned, alhamdulillah, that shows your beautiful good heart. So this Ramadan is about you, the forgiveness and praying for the ummah and doing the right thing. So do not allow these people who have no conscience, who have no conscience to take the Ramadan away from you, They are some sellout people who are just simply there to cause a fitna, okay? So just ignore them, okay? They're not your leaders. Allah did not, the definition and description of leader in Islam is completely different. I swear they do not fit that description. What description they fit, I honestly don't know. I mean, I need to find a book, okay? With the very difficult child, it stresses me out, her behavior around food. Technically, she's not fasting, but she's fasting all year around. She gives a lip service to her therapist, and the therapist believes her. And at the home, it's a chaos. We are fighting. So what shall I do? I mean, basically, I think your difficult relationships is not just in Ramadan. It is all year round, because you said she's fasting all year round. So I think, you have to really work on this relationship, and how you work on this relationship. It is, getting someone, from, because you said her therapist. Okay, anyway, get a Muslim scholar or someone involved who can sit down and explain to your daughter, about being a child and what being a child means, and explains to her about the rights of the parents, and explains, so break comes in middle, because honestly, this is what normally really, really helps. So it's something, the stress is all year around, but in the reason this becomes more heightened in Ramadan, because you have a family to look after, you're fasting, your emotions are everywhere. Okay, what was your best Ramadan and why? My best Ramadan was last year, Alhamdulillah, in Saudi Arabia, and the reason it was best because I was challenged like anything, and I'm being very, very honest. I was exposed to, my God, things which I never thought in my comfortable world I would be exposed to. And I'll give you an example. The best sahur and fatur I had was when I was staying with this lady who was a scholar, who was a healer, who hosted me, and she was a widow. And oh my God, and the way they used to have the sahur, it was so simple. They would sit on the floor. It was such a simple and wholesome meal. I'm being honest. And of course, what I eat was not, it was not available, and I had to eat. This was one of the condition she had. If I was going to stay with her, that I was going to eat what she gives me, that I wasn't going to refuse the food. And yeah, and when the people who used to come into her house for the sahur, because then we used to go walk to the mosque of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I swear, every bite those people used to take, they used to be saying Alhamdulillah so many times. It's unbelievable. And the food was so simple. It's unbelievable. So yes, that was my best Ramadan because it really exposed to the life I was living, and it really taught me about myself, honestly. So I would say yes. Is Ramadan different in Muslim country? Completely, honestly, because in Muslim country you are surrounded by the spirit of Ramadan, the Adhan, and everyone is united. So it's very, very easy, Alhamdulillah. I find conflict in Gaza is making me sicker by the day. How can you eat? I'm being very, very honest. I mean, this is something I had to go through. Like, I'll give you an example. I was looking at the food, and so much conflict went through my mind. And I think this is where you have to stop, consuming this content, not because you don't care about Gaza. You care about Gaza. It's because this is really impacting your health and you're not eating properly. Okay, so the tip is keep praying for Gaza. Okay, there are, keep giving the charity, keep talking about it. It's in the news. Ask someone to update you on Gaza, and focus on your health and well-being, because I mean, I honestly, I see the rate of relapse when this conflict is over. It's going to be quite high. I'm being very, very honest. And it's simply because of this conflict and what is happening. And, the suppression, and the suppression is, never, never good. I can't switch on the light for the reason because I don't know why the electricity in this area is not here. Okay, so I'm really, really sorry. How to have a lasting recovery? Honestly, hold on to the mercy of Allah, hold on to your faith, hold on to the religion of deen of Allah, hold on to the rope of Allah. Do not be divided. Follow the pillars of Islam. This is your foundation. And honestly, Islam is not designed to kill you. It's not an extreme religion. It doesn't suppress you. It's the only thing which frees you spiritually, mentally, and physically, honestly. So don't be restricted. So this is the lasting recovery. Like you have to pray every day, okay? You can't say I'm going to pray one day, I'm not going to pray. So you have to pray every day. This is same with the recovery. Recovery is for the lifetime. And what is a recovery? It is doing the right thing by your health, mind, and body. Okay, so inshallah, I mean, when someone says I am recovered, I mean, the recovery does mean following everything, the guidelines of Islam, and working on yourself honestly every day, and not expecting immediate instant results. Okay, I honestly, I looked into this. I honestly, you explained it to me, but I honestly can't support this because this does not fall into the guidelines of Islam. You said to me there's a place in California where you go and you're basically in a hut and you're paying this horrible amount of money, let me tell you, and then you're basically not even locked up, you're in this hut, yeah, and they don't come to you, you have no mobile, you have no TV, you're in the nature, your companion is your nature, and the nature is healing you. And then 3 days later you raise the red flag just to show them you're alive and you're okay, and you're there for like 3 months, honestly, we don't have this concept. I mean, Hazur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he went to the Mount Hira, there was a reason. He went to pray. I mean, you're going to sit there and meditate on what? You can never do a meditation by yourself. I mean, Islam is very strict on that. You have to be under a guidance of a trained scholar who can tell you how to meditate. You will honestly end up having an nervous breakdown, and you're sitting, and how do you know? I mean, and this woman who did this, I mean, who went there, and she said, I mean, I honestly, I'm not doubting her. Astaghfirullah, I cannot doubt her, but I don't understand. I mean, if she did have those great religious, spiritual experiences where her soul left her body and she was sitting with God, you never talk about these things. I mean, please tell me, where did Ibn al-Arabi, Imam Ghazali, Ibn Huzn, or any of them, I mean, did Hazur Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ever, I mean, yes, these things were explained to us, but did Hazrat Abu Bakr or Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Osman, Hazrat Ali, did they ever speak about these things that, their soul left their body and they went to the seventh heaven and they came back? So honestly, be very, very careful. I mean, this is simply the waswasa, this is the shaitan, I mean, honestly, I don't know, but I honestly cannot support that. I'm really sorry, about that. And and you said, I mean, why in Ramadan, nothing works? I mean, sorry, this is another person. She said, I feel in Ramadan is simply designed for relapse and triggers and anxiety and stress. I mean, come on, be realistic. I mean, these are the things you have been suffering from all year round, and then all of a sudden you're blaming it on Ramadan. I mean, you're expecting miracle. I mean, in 30 days, alhamdulillah, miracles do happen. But tell me, you need to you need to be qualified on a Islamic scale to receive that kind of a miracle recovery. These things don't happen overnight. I mean, look at all these figures in Islam. I mean, how hard they worked. I mean, they didn't just enter the paradise, just by entering the Ramadan and expecting. You have to work on yourself every day. Islam is from the day you were born to your mother, the day you die. Okay, so I mean, you're okay with being sick. You spend all your life, paying, having this submission to your eating disorder, your illness, so that's okay. But all of a sudden, Ramadan comes and, you're expecting the miracle and you want the results there and then. No, please, it does take time, and every day we work on ourselves. It's a blessing. And the faith, religion is for the same, for the lifetime. So to say it brings out the triggers, you're triggered all year round anyway. Okay, so, let's not just get into that, It brings an anxiety, you have an anxiety, okay? So you need to deal with your anxiety. And, when people come and they tell me the Ramadan is a month, it's so difficult for Muslims. I'm like, why is, I said, no, I said, if you're suffering from eating disorders, the whole year is difficult. The only difference is the rest of the year we are free to be with our illness. This is the only year, when we know, in your heart, binging is wrong, purging is wrong, restricting, not eating right is wrong. Sitting there consuming bad content is wrong. You have to let go of these things. These guidelines are really, really strict, and you can't just sit there and watch YouTube 24/7. You have to get up. You have to do things. So of course you're going to be anxious because you don't want to do them. So to blame it on the Ramadan, I think this is so wrong, and it really saddens me. I mean, someone said to me other day, which was so relevant and so valid. She said, we have a month of Muharram. She said, in Iran, in there are Shias, the second group in Islam, the Shiism. She said nobody focuses on how it makes us feel in the month of, in Muharram, when we have to go to the Karbala, when we are exposed to that suffering and everything. How come nobody focuses on that? And I said, it's a very, very good question. So, let's honestly look at Ramadan as a month, when it exposes us to the triggers, it is because there is something really, really wrong with us. And by wrong, I mean, our, we are not well, and, we need to work on our wellness, and, we need to work on our well-being. And the third thing is, honestly, it is, a month of, healing. And, please, hold on to the Quran. This is excellent. The Sayyid Hussein Nasser, this was a gift. So thank you, whoever I know who gave it to me. And then the Second thing is, honestly, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I did, like, this is what I am memorizing. This is, in my language. So, I'm completely prepared. This is what my focus is going to be. So, the positivity and focusing on good brings the goodness. Last thing, someone spoke to me about this influencer. I'm not going to name these people because I don't want to give them this fame. I'm being very honest. The more you focus on them, the more negativity has come into your life. She's your role model, and what have you achieved in 2 years, honestly, except negativity, depression, destruction of your mental well-being? But whereas, if you focus, I swear, on Hazrat Maryam, which she is mentioned in Quran, which she is a woman of Quran, and guess what? The more positivity is going to come to you, the more strength is going to come inside you. You focus on Hazrat Khadija, Hazrat Khadija, Razitala, and that is really going to, bring happiness and positivity in your life. So it is shaitan which is making you focus on these people, and they have become your role model. They are not your role model. So, filter out the media because it does bring negativity into your life, and focus on these things. And the last thing somebody asked me about, what is the, I hope this doesn't fall, what is the guarantee that, the dhikr is going to heal me, or the Islamic foods? Oh my God, how can you even ask that question? I mean, I remember somebody was not well and she was given something by a very good scholar, and he said to me, he said, how can this be? How can this be that you're given the name of Allah to recite and it doesn't make a difference? Of course it makes a difference. You need to have tawakkul, you need to believe, hold on to it, what you're given. And then the second thing is about the Islamic foods. Okay, these are the foods from the Quran. Quran mentions them, and there's a reason why these superfoods are mentioned in Quran. So the more you are consuming them, I'm not saying just focus on them, because Quran mentions everything. It mentions meat, it mentions fish, it mentions lots of things. So the more healing it brings to you, especially the foods from the Jannah, it really does. Milk and honey is absolutely must, yeah. And then the third thing somebody asked me was, okay, how not to fight with your parents. This is something you really have to work on. Allah said in the Quran, وَبِالْ وَالِدَيْنَ إِحْسَانًا. So you're fighting with your parents. It's because, your illness has made you think that they are your enemy, but they are not your enemy, okay? So if you do want to do positive good deeds in Islam, in Ramadan, so please, focus on that. Increase your good deeds as many as you can. Focus, make this Ramadan. I mean, this is said in Islam as well. Ibn Zayn said, the healing from the anxiety and everything is you prioritize others. I mean, of course, you love yourself. You're the most important person on the face of this planet Earth. Yes, that matters. But also, please focus on others. Focus on other people as well. Prioritize Gaza, Yemen, Sudan, Uyghur Muslims, Kashmir, Afghanistan. What is happening. Please focus on them. Pray for them. Give as many charity, and this is proven what charity does. It heals you. It gets rid of all the evil and the bad which is in your life. So make this Ramadan positive, and please don't make this Ramadan that it's about triggering, whether you're fasting or whether you're not fasting. Yeah, do just follow the Sunnah, follow the Quran, hold on to it, and don't make something out of this month which it shouldn't be. I mean, I'm being very, very honest. We have been speaking about this same topic since 2013, honestly, and you're lucky to be in Ramadan. We are so lucky. Allah has given us this month, and it's for everyone. Everyone is included in this month, okay? So if you have the triggers, you have the problems, the problem is within you, let's deal with it. Everyone has there is something wrong with everyone, honestly. No one is perfect. So inshallah, please work on yourself, and Allah is going to be with you. I really have to go, honestly, and I do apologize for this lighting. I don't know what has happened here. And about the Pakistan, I will do that. Inshallah, I will answer the questions. I would definitely, honestly recommend, wheatgrass synergy. Please have that. Honestly, it is absolutely amazing. It replenishes your body. When your body is depleted of all the vital nutrients and minerals, it really does give you boost. I'm not promoting this company, honestly, because I'm not even in UK, so I can't promote them. But get the local wheatgrass synergy. Eat the local produce, inshallah, and make most of this Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum. And if I said something which is not right, please forgive me. I ask you to forgive me. Please get in contact with me if something is not right, and I request you. We are heading towards Ramadan. Don't send any more questions. Honestly, please visit my website. Nearly everything is there. If it's like really don't send me questions about what to have for food, because everything is there. And about these triggers, honestly, everything is there. That guideline was basically those things and recipes were tried on people. We didn't just randomly sit down and come up with something. Those exercises, there's a reason. And someone said to me, and another thing is, this sheikh from the Yemen said something really good to me. He said, when you are inspired by these media figures, who give you no good, and you're looking at them, honestly, when you die, because death is always there, this is how you're going to be raised. And so, please always remember that. And Imam Ghazali did say, clean your heart. So, work on this cleansing. And this cleansing cannot happen when you're constantly talking about the, the negativity around Ramadan. Speak about the positivity. Focus on the positivity. And, these articles which are coming out, I mean, honestly, a question, you ask yourself this question, why this focus was not there before? Why all of a sudden, from 2015, everyone is speaking about this. I mean, why? Is it because all of a sudden in 2015, all of us, started having eating disorders in Ramadan, and Ramadan became triggering for us? So, ask yourself questions, question, research. The perfect solution is Islam. Alhamdulillah, eat with your family, and the shukr is the must, okay? And somebody asked me about the gratitude exercise. Sorry, this is the last. Honestly, I couldn't do the gratitude journal. The best way to do the gratitude is with every salah, offer 2 salah nafal of shukr. In sujood, thank Allah for all the blessings. Honestly, count your blessings. Like I, on my tasbih, like at tahajjud time, I thank Allah for, being, that He's Allah for us. And, then I list everything, on the 100. And by the time that 100 is finished, the tasbih, honestly, you are filled with the gratitude. Okay, thank Allah for every single breath you're taking right now. And please try to do the right things this Ramadan. Please don't forget, your brothers and sisters who are in need. And, and I really, really, really have to say, we should be very careful about this lavish 500 meal fatur we are doing in Atlantis and all these countries. Honestly, this is not the practice of Islam. Where has this come from? We need to ask ourselves. Islam is not designed to starve you. It's very balanced. We need to have a very good balanced fatur. So this going there and wasting your time, and honestly, when you ask me about my Ramadan, I was there. So this is when I was with this woman, who was a scholar, who didn't give me a choice. I had to eat what she was eating. The meal was very simple, completely full. When I was in another setting, honestly, in the breakfast, they opened up the buffet in the hotel, and guess what? There were 300 dishes nearly. I was shocked. I mean, my God! And we are next to the holy place. I couldn't understand. And every time we would go and visit the mosque, we would come back and they would open for the lunch. They would open up the buffet again, and they would again 300 dishes, and then in the evening there were 300 dishes. Honestly, that is not the practice of Islam, and we should not be supporting these people who do this. They're simply out there to make money, so don't support them. I have to go. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.